Hi, welcome to Exercise for Beginners, where I teach you how to get started if you've never started before. This week we're going to go over another video of core exercises. I'm really not sure which one this is. I think it's like 5 or 6. Okay, so for our first exercise, we're going to do what I call bear taps. So I think we've done bear holds in the past, which basically you're on all fours and your knees are hovering above the ground. To progress this, to kind of get ready for like a bear crawl, I just have people do bear taps and, as a precursor, right? So we're going to be on all fours here, toes into the ground, make sure our knees are under our hips, wrists under our shoulders. And we're going to lift up into that bear position. So this would be the holds, right? You got a nice flat back going on. So from here, you're going to do your taps, and that's just with the feet. That's it. That's all I'm asking. I don't want a bunch of rocking back and forth, right? I'm over exaggerating there, but just the feet. A lot of control. All right. From here, I'm going to have you turn over, and we're going to do a leg lower. So with these ones, it's easier if you have something to hang on to, like the base of your couch, a chair, a coffee table, what have you. You're going to hold on here, legs go straight up. You're going to lower. You want to make sure that your low back stays against the floor that whole time you're performing this movement. If at any point your low back starts to arch and you kind of feel it break away from the floor, don't go any further. You actually want to stop at that point just before that starts to happen. Over time, you're going to gain this strength to keep that low back against the floor while getting your feet pretty close to the floor. You see, like when I do it, I'm like a few inches off the floor. All right. Oh my, yes. Hi. Why are you so annoying? All right, so here's a few more just to see. Okay. Oh, I have quite the visitor today. Okay, so from here, you're going to grab a yoga block, and we're going to do a pendulum. All right. This is kind of a simpler version of a windshield wiper. So windshield wipers, your legs are straight, and you're rocking them from side to side. Pendulum, your knees are bent. With this one, you're going to squeeze the block in between your knees, and your arms out to your side, and you're going to rock from side to side while squeezing that block. All right? You don't want to use too much pressure in your hands. The idea is to move from side to side without helping yourself out too much. But again, go as far as you can while keeping your core engaged. All right? You're oblique here, right? I don't want you to collapse. That's not the point. All right? That's more of a stretch. I want you to keep that engagement, and you want to be able to pull yourself back, right? Pull yourself back. You're pulling with that opposite side. All right. For these last two, you're going to need a dumbbell, something light to start. So 5 pounds is perfectly fine. All right, we're just going to do a dumbbell sit-up as our first one. So if you need to, you can always place your feet underneath a couch or whatever to kind of give yourself some leverage. But you want to keep that weight close to your chest. And you're going to sit all the way up. You can see my feet don't exactly stay, planted to the floor or anything. I do like the method of like driving your heels into the floor. I find that helpful. Help you gain a little bit of leverage in that. All right. If you are like really pushing that weight out here, you're using the momentum from that to help get you up. Honestly, fine. Do what you got to do. I'm not here to judge you on that point. But over time, you want to put that weight closer and closer to your chest. If weighted's too hard, just start with a basic sit up with your feet leveraged. And last but not least, this is one of my personal faves. I do this in various ways all the time, is a wood chop. So with the wood chop, you're going to start in a half kneeling position. You're going to take that weight. This one, 5 pounds is totally enough, even 3. All right. Anything rotational can be very sensitive to your low back initially, right? So 100% less is more. All right. I speak from experience. There was a point in time I literally started with 2 pounds. Okay. So rotational being like anytime you're doing this type of work, right? That's a very functional movement for us. It does require attention, especially as we get older. You don't use it or lose it, right? That's the phrase. So start very light. If you can get this movement up to something like 10, 15, 20 pounds, you're golden. You're going to have very few problems, truly. And it's going to help to really support your low back. So I firmly and highly recommend and support doing rotational movement as much as you can, at least once a week for sure. So wood chop, you're going to start with that weight down by your hip of the down leg. You're going to come up and across. Look, nice straight arms until you're looking up at it overhead. And back down. Up and down. Up and down. Now to start, you can do it slower, right? Feel that movement. If your spine's not used to rotating, you're going to feel it, okay? You're going to feel that spine trying to gain that range of motion. It's going to be uncomfortable. Not in a bad way, but you're going to notice, okay? So as you get better at these, you feel it loosen up a little bit more and it gains the strength to rotate further. You can add in a little bit of like oomph to this movement, right? So you can like really try and toss it. Like you're tossing something over your shoulder. All right. Like I said, I love these. They've really, saved my back from a lot of discomfort and have kept me in a really comfortable space, in a really functional space. A lot of my other movements, deadlifts, squats, greatly improved after adding more rotational stuff in like that. So I can't recommend it enough. All right, that is all for this week's episode of Exercise for Beginners. Tune back in next week and we'll see what's cooking.